So let's start with just giving folks a background on our relationship. How did we meet? How did we come to know each other?
So we met at kind of a personal, more of a personal reunion type thing for one of the Marines. Well, he was way before my time. Most of them were, but I met you there at his reunion thing. And what was crazy is there's just certain people that are saying things that you click with right away. And I could tell right away you were one of the people that I could. And that was before I even knew you had anything to do with the medical field at all, which was kind of funny. But then I noticed that you understood. You've been, trying to understand the Marine psyche more and how you could connect more with us. And you connected with me instantly. So obviously you figured out how to connect with Marines. It's like, and I could get behind anybody who takes the time to understand us.
Thank you.
And
Well,
and
this
so I
means
mean, so we met a long time before the Stella started.
we did.
And
And I
yeah,
instinctively liked you too, for what it's
I
worth. And
well, I
all of you
knew
guys, all of you
I
guys.
also knew I would support anything that you needed help with. So
Thank you.
that was yeah,
Thank
that
you.
was an easy choice.
So we met out there at the private reunion of was about 24 Marines for that weekend out in the woods. It's a really powerful weekend that
It was
I'll
great.
never forget years ago. And we came into that relationship and have kind of since kept in touch. And then when I came on at Stella, and I kind of thought about who needs this treatment that really addresses trauma symptoms, the biological root of trauma symptoms. I thought about you and several others. And so
Mhm.
you went ahead and had the treatment.
Yep.
Now, today's webinar is really about how long do the positive effects of SGB last? And so I want to take you through a process of um, sharing with people how the treatment went for you, and
Yep.
then we'll talk about kind of the longer lasting outcomes that you've had ever since. So
Okay.
tell us about how the treatment went for you the day you came to Chicago. I was there with you, and what that was like.
So I was nervous. I was nervous from before even leaving for Chicago. But I talked through it with you and Para actually. He helped a lot. But I was worried mainly that it was just gonna instantly change me. Like I didn't, I was like, man, this is kind of crazy. Other than it's kind of crazy thinking it's going into somewhere around your neck. But when I got there, it was I I don't know, getting to Chicago and getting ready for it. I felt better when I started seeing the other guys that were going to get it with us too, and we all started talking and realizing we had a lot in common. It made it a more enjoyable experience than a hey, I'm coming to get this weird thing done to my neck and I don't know how it's going to end. It was more of a oh, we're all in this together,
Yeah,
like we usually are. Let's go get this done. And I mean, we were waiting for each other to see, when it was done. It was great. Seeing how each other just changed from being there in the waiting room to coming back into the waiting room was amazing too. Like we could just see it in each other. It
amazing.
was different. Yeah, it
There,
was
there were
definitely cool.
10 of us, 10, well, 10 of you, and I was there with you all.
Yeah.
I 10 of the Marines I really have come to respect and care about. We
Yeah.
came in together as a
Oh,
unit,
definitely. Yeah.
and we went through that day together. And that was so fun.
I
You
also
guys,
enjoyed that Para was there waiting because it
yeah,
helped. It
yeah.
helped.
Your top, your master sergeant flew
Yeah.
in, and together, we saw you guys go in for the procedure, and then not long after you'd come back out in recovery. And what were some of the things that you observed in yourself and in your brothers that day?
Well, when I woke up, I caught a nurse. Well, it took 2 shots for me. So the first time I didn't feel too much different at all. And they're like, that's fine. We'll just, we'll take you back in. But then coming up from the second one, I was waking up again, and this nurse was just stopped and stared at me for a minute. I was like, what? I was like, what's going on? Like, is there something wrong? And she goes, no. Well, do you realize you're smiling right now? And I was like, nah, I don't smile. I really don't smile for no reason. Like there's no. And I caught myself like, man, I think I am smiling. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like I'm not feeling. Wow, I didn't feel stressed anymore. Like that stress, like just constant. Like, oh man, you're awake. You stressed for nothing.
yeah.
Yeah. So it was different. And then getting out and seeing a lot of the other guys. And I mean, it was weird. Is most of us, those of us, didn't know each other that well. We still didn't know each other that well going into it. but we knew each other well enough when we left to go get the shot to come back that we could see that there was a change. And it was like, I mean, there was a few that were just instant changes.
So then you've done other things, since then to
Yeah.
really kind of work with the effects that you felt from the stellate ganglion block. Can you talk about some of those other things you've done?
So I kind of, when I got home, I tried to keep up with everything and try and keep it all good. And then after a while, I noticed like, well, I'm gonna have to put in work. Like, I can't just go back to how, oh, I'm gonna live my life how I did before. It turns out that like for me, I still feel the effects of the SGB shot because it's allowing me still sometimes to carry on conversations with my wife, which is something she kind of hated before. I would bring something up and I would kind of just yeah, give her my point and walk away and not really engage in the conversation. And nowadays I'm actually engaging in a conversation with her. I'm stopping, I'm talking with her, I'm giving her my point, like she's giving me her points, and then we kind of but I'm engaging more with her in things she wants to talk about. I'm engaging more with the kids, which I think she like, which is good.
So you're
um
connected to them in a different way.
yeah, and then I also take steps to try and breathe more, which is weird. Like I never really did that, so the kids are she kind of makes me take a few breaths, like if I have to, I'll kind of separate myself and try and do a quick meditation session in a way.
Mhm.
So, and it does help. And I think that's where she's noticed the meditation thing helps a lot.
Yeah.
And I told her, I was like, I also feel like I don't want to abuse it because if I get too used to it, it might stop helping.
The
In a way, I
meditation.
don't know. I feel that way. Yeah, I feel that way about it. But like, it helps us so much right now.
No, no,
Like,
no. That's not going to happen. Like the
okay, okay,
more you meditate, the more you allow yourself to downshift and it
okay.
becomes more instinctive.
Okay.
So one